They look a bit big.
Well, you can, but one of the good things about having the tails big like that is when they're cooked, it means that they're very easy to pull out of the muffin cups here to put onto the rack, because you've got something to grip onto, which normally you don't have. So now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is use the cup that I've been using for measuring. I'm now going to use to dish out the mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to get a small amount of mixture and plop it in. I just go through and put a small amount into each one, and then I'll go back and top them up. It's best not to be in a hurry when you're doing this part of it, because otherwise you slop mixture everywhere. I always mix the mixture in a jug, in a mixing jug, and it makes it much easier to manage the mixing of things. But I like to dish it out, instead of pouring it, I like to dish it out with the measuring scoop, because you've got a lot more control that way. So now I'm just going around and using up the mixture and topping up each muffin. It. And then finally I will get the scraper. There it is. Thank you. And
Don't waste any.
I'm a bit of a Scrooge like that. I hate wasting any mixture. So even if it means the muffin is overflowing, I'll still use up the mixture.
You can't eat this mixture really raw, can you?
Well, there are people who do, like my friend Valerie. She eats mixture raw, but I don't like it, and I don't think Kim does either. So, but that's all right. I can usually find a muffin to squeeze it into. There goes the last of it.
Beautiful.
And then what I do is I make sure that the pan is clean, because these bits here, any bits that are slopped onto the pan before it goes into the oven, will burn on, and then it makes the pan harder to clean. So now that I know that it's clean, I'm going to stick this in the oven now. I'm going to put it in the oven. As I said, I've got it on for about 180, 200, something like that. And I'm now going to, because this is an old-fashioned oven, it doesn't have a timer, so I'm just going to put this timer on to about 40, and we'll see what they look like after 40.
40 minutes. Is that usually about right?
40 minutes is about right.
Very good.
Sometimes I take 45. Depends. It does depend a little bit on how much fruit I've put in there. If I'm using up a lot of bananas or a lot of apples and the mixture is very sloppy, then sometimes it takes about 45 minutes, even sometimes 50 minutes. So I'm just popping everything away now. That's the flour that I use, the organic self-raising flour. I don't know whether you can see that in that container. It's got a bit of a stripe there. Okay, popping that all away. Putting these away. I keep the nuts and the oil in the fridge, because oil goes rancid easily, so if you keep it in the fridge it stops it from doing that. You keep the milk in the fridge for obvious reasons. I find the rice bran oil is good because it doesn't have a strong flavour of its own, so it then doesn't change the taste of the muffins into something unpleasant. So therefore it's not good to use olive oil, because olive oil has got quite a strong flavour to it, unless you use the very light, extra light olive oil. But if you do that, using the very light olive oil, it's usually been highly processed, so it's not so good. So it's best to use the rice bran oil. Or if you can, if you're okay with grapeseed, you can have grapeseed oil. That is another oil that's low in flavour.
Very good. Well, thank you, Kim and Kim's Kitchen. We'll look at those later when they come out of the oven.
Good.
Alright, and here we are, the finished article. This is 40 minutes in the oven.
Right, and there they are. Beautiful.
Ooh,
look at that.
beautiful muffins.
See those? Those ones at the back have got slightly burnt on the top, but it doesn't seem to affect the flavour of them, or the taste of them. See, this one's just a little bit burnt here, but this is a very erratic oven, so that's about the best you'll do.
They look gorgeous.
Yeah, this one here's a particularly good one, but you can see how unevenly this oven cooks because there's burnt bits here, and yet these ones here are perfect, and it went in like that. So. But what I was saying before about these things is that now I can just lift them out like that, you see. So they cool down nice and quickly without you having to touch them, and that means that they don't get all steamy in the pan.
And it's clean as a whistle.
It's pretty clean. Yeah, you get the occasional bit like that bit there, but that's alright.
There you go, let them cool.
Let them cool.